Um, so my my guest, my friend, my brother, my leader, my former business partner, and all round creative, all round cool guy. Let me tell you a funny story about this cat who's sitting with me right now before I even introduce him. The year is 2012, and I just signed a contract with YFM to be on air. And at the time, he's producing easily one of the biggest uh, breakfast shows in the land, not in the region. And he's got this arrogance about him, like nobody can touch him. And I'm like, come on, Dimani, what Papa saw? And then he introduces himself to me. He's like, yeah, I'm fine like Kutloano. And I'm like, Kutloano? That's my girlfriend's name. You must chill, homie. Why are you so
Oh, Fonji.
Why are you so pompous? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leave It Better with Smash African Friends. And my friend is the one and only the Kruk, Kutloano Nklapo. And I always do this with my guests. I need to give their ID name. My brother, how you doing? How
What's
you
up,
feeling,
dog?
man? You
What's up,
looking
dog?
good, man.
Trying, dog. Trying,
Mr. Magic Day.
Trying, man. Yeah, man. That's my baby, man. That's my baby.
So, bro, like let's start there. I recently lost a pair of shades.
Yeah.
And Kutloano was kind enough to drop because the product has
The
arrived.
business is kind enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I did a photo shoot for free. Those who know.
Well.
So I'm gonna do this interview with shades on.
Why not, man?
Yeah, because you know
Yeah. Because we see you, man.
I see you too.
Yeah, we see you.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. And also, not generally mazaza antwanela. Yeah.
Well.
Wow. Yo, bro, thank you so much for making time to come through.
Bro.
Recently, you and I did like an impromptu collab.
Yeah.
I had a photo shoot. Well, I needed to do like a PR shoot because I've gained weight. I'm a dad now.
Yeah.
Things are different. And then I noticed that you were doing like a rollout
Yeah.
of Magic Day collection. And I was like, Maji, I know you don't have models.
Yet.
Let me model your shade.
Yeah.
But there's a story behind Magic Day collection.
Yeah.
And I did not ask you at the photo shoot because I was late. There was no time for,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So walk me through the journey of coming up with concept, traveling the world to find the right manufacturer for this,
Yeah.
knowing the right time to release it. And also, I just love your lookbook and how you've been telling this story and rolling out this product. We knew about the product before we saw the product.
Yeah.
Walk me through it.
So, Magic Day collection started off by Magic Day Club. So before Magic Day Club started in 2017, I won a DJing competition, Black Coffee, and traveled the world with him. Played in Ibiza alongside Black Coffee and a few other countries and so on and so forth. And that campaign was called Find Your Magic.
Sure.
So what I found was that traveling the world and coming back, a lot of my homies, Boss Mash and a lot of the guys just wanted to basically me be a mirror of the world, to gauge what partying in Ibiza's like, playing in Ibiza's like, and so on and so forth. So I started a party entity called Magic Day Club so that I don't have to go visit every single guy individually, but they can all come to the party and we can all chop it,
Right.
Because it does get tiring, Joe, there's so many brides you can go to,
And also, like, just based on where you live, you've moved house so many times. No, we are homies.
Yeah.
You've moved house so many times. Like, sometimes the dude who was closer to you is no longer close to
no
you.
longer closer to me. So, so I started Magic Day Club and then invited all my friends. And then it grew into a party entity. Last year, we got about 2,000 people. So,
No way.
yeah, bro, that was probably like our best year. I mean, earlier on this year, we did a 3-day weekend during the Easter weekend, which was also successful. So that basically tells you where Magic Day Club is. And that was 5 years ago. And my partners and I have been wanting to look at merch, and and explore merch because another thing that's been happening in the industry is that we all started as like radio people, DJs, and producers, and so on and so forth. But a Kanye only became a billionaire when he started selling merch. You know, a Rihanna only became a billionaire when she started selling merch. Jay-Z only started selling merch and became a billionaire, and so on and so forth. You know, and the merch business is actually where the business is. You know, because the music business is so regulated that you'll always lose. You know, as an artist. You know.
I like how you said regulated. I would have chosen the word rigged.
It's the suit. Yeah, so it's heavily regulated. They've been using the same formula for years on end, you know, hence why we still refer to a 360 contract as a slave contract, you know, because it hasn't changed, you know, it hasn't changed for anybody, you know. So we looked at t-shirts, we looked at caps, we looked at jeans, we looked at everything. But the one common thread when you look at like our after movie videos are sunglasses. You know, everyone's wearing
Sure.
sunglasses because a Magic Day Club is about like sunsets, chasing sunsets.
Sure.
It's about finding the perfect sunset and playing the right music to that sunset and so on and so forth. So we're basically one of the first day parties in South Africa, you know. So when we looked through our after movies, we picked up shades or eyewear, as I like calling it. And then, yeah, we started doing research about the business of eyewear, you know, only to find out that there's one company, it's in Italy called Luxottica,
Okay.
which
I know Luxottica.
yeah, Luxottica has heavily monopolized the eyewear business. You know, they do eyewear for all these like big brands. They do eyewear for Prada, Michael Kors. They bought Ray-Ban in the late 90s, early 2000s. They do Christian Dior and so on and so forth. So none of your favorite eyewear brands make their own eyewear brands. They're all made by Luxottica. And what we've also found was that because of capacity, they manufacture about 60% of the world's eyewear in China.
Listen
You know,
to that.
so that's when we started traveling. Then we met a guy called Tian. Well, I said his name. He used to work for Luxottica. He's a eyewear designer, and he helped us through some of the design work that we did with Magic Day Collection. And then he told me to go straight to China and where to go to China to go manufacture. And here we are.
You know, one of the things about this podcast, Leave It Better. What up, fam? My name is Smash Afrika, host of Leave It Better with Smash Afrika and Friends. And I'm here to remind you of the amazing platform that is dreamstream.co.za. Go and check them out right now and check out our exclusive ad-free content. And if you are looking to put out content, whether it's a podcast, record music, make sure you check out the studios. Dreamstream.co.za, where dreams become a stream of income. With friends is that number one, I bring my friends who have something to sell.
Yeah.
And we all need to support our friends. And when you have a platform, promote your friends.
Yeah.
Celebrate your friends. But there's also a story that is hardly shared. The story of where it all began.
Yeah.
For you to network the way you've networked, for you to believe in whatever dream you have at that time. Dog, like you've done it all.
Yeah.
You've made music, you've DJ, you've hosted radio shows, you've done TV shows, you've produced, even fashion, you've dabbled in that. Like, there's nothing that you probably haven't done when we look at culture or the things that play a role in saying, this is the reason why we love these guys like Bo Jay-Z, Bo Kanye West, Bo Rihanna and the likes. Where does the confidence and the self begin start for you? Before we even talk business.
Man, I was actually chatting to a friend about this past weekend, you know, and he said to me, you know, like a lot of people look at you and they think like, Uchi's boy, you grew up in a very cush household, you know, you're you were able to follow your dreams and so on and so forth, and which is the contrary, which is the contrary. But and what I said to him was, I'm not big on like selling our mishaps, you know what I mean, or like impoverished backgrounds,
Glamorizing poverty.
yeah, glamorizing poverty, because firstly, that basically puts a spotlight on our parents, which basically did what they could to get us where they could,
Mm.
and also I just think like it's a sucker way to just look at life, I'm a very ambitious guy. I like the finer things in life, I love culture. I want to pour into the cup of culture, and I want to be an owner in culture, So I don't have time to be glamorizing poverty and so on and so forth. So I come from Davidson, which is in the East Rand, Kasley Clever, as they call it. Grew up in a very cool household, I had a mom and a dad. I've got a younger brother. Went to multiracial schools, my grandmother was a hustler of note,
Sure.
if a lot of people, well, if your mother's mother knows Macy Makatla, my grandmother was that koko that's got like an okapi, and 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 Nana Sport,
Sure,
so
sure, sure.
I grew up in that environment, hence the music, hence the DJing, hence hence just like culture, you know what I mean?
And your
So
ability to network.
yeah.
I would imagine go Magogo, you are seeing different people walk in and
Yeah,
out.
I mean, dog, funny enough, I ran into a timer. We were recently laying a grandmother of mine to rest, I ran into a timer. His name is Big Jim, dog.
Sure,
So Big Jim was one of the most feared guys in the East Rand,
sure.
and I'm chilling there, and Big Jim looks at me, and I'm like, "I'll
Yo.
tell my little Nchebileng," like, what did I like? Did I break his daughter's heart? And then he's like, "Yo, when I said, Usmang, mang, 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 mang," and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I raised you and whatever, whatever. And he's like, I'm Big Jim. I used to be your grandmother's friend. And so like now I'm excited about this Big Jim character because he's like relaying certain things that like I know about, but I was too young to grasp,
Yes.
And then as soon as he walks away, a cousin of mine walks up to me. He's like, "Do you know that was one of the most feared guys in this township, and you guys were so close, And so it's just things like those, that's the environment I grew up in. And I think through my grandmother's influence and my father's influence, my father was a hectic collector of music.
Mhm.
I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be a DJ and want to do this radio thing, From school, at school holidays, I used to go job shadow at Y. I
Sure.
used to job shadow DJ Spoo. Um, when I was in school, when everyone was doing career day, dressed up as a doctor, I used to
Come
come there in my dad's CDs,
dope.
Yeah, I used to come there with my dad's CDs because I knew exactly what I wanted to be, Actually, there's a lady called Diniko that I went to the same school and same class with, that tweeted me about I think in 2016 when she first heard me on radio that you're probably one of the only guys that's ever said that they were going to be a radio DJ,
And you
and
did
and
it.
and and, and like it's such a full circle moment when I'm starting to hear you on the
And
radio,
you did it.
and I did it, So it's just those little things. And then when I got to matric, my parents were going through a terrible divorce,
Mhm.
and obviously through divorce, it's the sharing of assets and things like that, and nobody wanted to pay for my
Tuition.
tuition, because obviously my mom needed to start her own life, my dad needed to figure his own life, and through that, I think I was the biggest loser. Um, Went to varsity first year, halfway through second year. That's when I realized that like things are not good at home. Things are not good at home, and I sat my mother down and I was like, "Hey, dude, like, I'm realizing that like you're struggling, and if you're gonna take me through school, then my introvert brother is going to be or won't be able to go through school,
Sure.
because he's 4 years younger than me.
Sure.
So rather take whatever money that you are taking me through school with, save it for him, so that you've got money to take him through school, and then I'll figure out this life thing, And I came to Joburg in a travel bag and a pillow. And yeah, man, and I find myself here.
That's crazy, man.
Mm.
And I want to talk about like that moment of you saying, Mazali, I see what's happening, but I'm going to do something for myself. And I don't want you to carry me because you've given me like a good upbringing to know that I need to stand on my feet.
Yeah,
So you could say it was your turning point or your manhood moment.
yeah.
What was your first win when you left home? Like the first thing that said to you, you are on the right path, my boy.
Sure. My first win, geez, bro. Like when I got to Joburg, I started like crashing at niggas' houses,
Of course.
communes. You
Of
know what I
course.
mean? I was telling a funny story that, and a lot of my friends did not get this. So every time we'd go to a party,
Mm.
I was so happy when one of them did not take a girl home because then I've got a place to sleep. You know, if they all took girls home, then now I need to figure out where I'm sleeping. You know, so
And at that time, like it was like it I guess maybe it's our generation. It was a thing for dudes to be the one to take the girl home. It was never the guy going with the girl
girl,
home.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Or
yeah.
the girl taking the dude home.
But sometimes it would happen because we all stayed like in communes and things like
Okay.
that. So it wasn't like your mother's house, but it was a commune, you know.
Okay. Okay.
So um, so if a guy was lucky enough to go to the chick's house, I'm also happy because now I've still got a place to sleep. So
Just throw me the keys.
yeah, so this friend of mine that I was chilling with this past weekend is like, dude, like you're such like a lovable guy, you know, like girls generally like gravitate towards you and how weren't you like that hectic like in varsity, you know? And I'm like, because it was just weird for me, you know, it was just very weird for me. Hore, if I get a girl at the club, like where do I take her?
Sure.
You know? Or if I can't go to a house, then where do we go? You
Mm-hmm.
know? So yeah, man, it was like that kind of dynamic that they're only figuring it out now, you know. But it also taught me like a lot of like self control, you know what I mean, focus, and also that like yes, your time might not be now, but when your time comes, you'll shine, my boy, you know.
So your win was getting a place to sleep.
Yes, was just surviving Joburg. A few years into it, I was listening to YFM. Funny enough, I was listening to DJ Smooth's show when Phil
Sure.
did breakfast, and he was interviewing a gentleman called Musa Kalenga.
Mm-hmm.
He had a youth advertising agency called Monati Fellas.
Sure.
Musa is an amazing dude, man.
What a stand-up dude. What an
Amazing
amazing
dude, yeah.
father. What an amazing businessman.
Businessman, yeah. So listen to that, and then he left his email on the show, and then took the email, cold emailed him, told him where I come from, what I'm about, and he gave me an internship as a researcher. You know, worked my way up to junior creative director to creative director, and then I realized that I'm doing so well here. I mean, we rebranded like Contempo condoms, we rebranded knickknacks. There was a point in time where we were managing the Cypho brand, like Cypho in his height, you know what I mean?
Yep.
At YoTV, we were managing Cypho brand.
Actually, Alex. I
Yeah,
mean Ajax.
Ajax, yeah. And then other life-changing things, man, like
Damn, man.
a link.
Yeah.
Um, so Monate Fella's sister company was Brand Leadership.
Sure.
Yeah, Tebe Kalafeng.
Sure.
So Tebe just won the A-Link account, and we helped with that, the rebranding of A-Link. So all those things, like I had a hand in, you know, but nobody knows because like I was,
Well, now they know.
yeah, well,
Now we're talking about
you
it.
know, but I then realized that this creativity is my passion, you know, but there's still this radio bug that I still need to like finesse, you know. And while I was in varsity with no place to stay, I did UJFM, you know. And while I was doing that, we did like a crazy sex show called The Dip. It was myself and a friend of mine called Mateo. And we do everything from Kama Sutra to like sex poetry. We were those guys in campus, you know, where like every single Thursday night, the whole campus would shut down and listen to us, you know, because we'd really like make this whole sex thing so intimate, so sexy. And and the dope thing about the sex show is that like it wasn't just bums and penises, you know.
Yeah.
We made it so sexy and and it wasn't taboo anymore, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And funny, I worked with a few people on the sex show until their mothers found out, you know. So we worked with Tando Tabete. She was part of the sex show before she blew up. Her mother found out, yanked her off the show. And then we worked with Gladys Motele,
You
who
lie.
is a newsreader
You
now.
lie.
She was at 702, she's at KFM now. And her mother found out and she got yanked off the show, you know. So it was just such a good time, man, to like grow up with people that were just hungry for media, man, you know. And fast forward, Mo Flavor used to love the show because his girlfriend, who's his wife now, used to be a UJ, you know. So they somehow used to listen to the show together. Hatlo Cheka, you know,
Sure.
was on Y, and then me and him met. I approached him as somebody that wanted to be a DJ.
Sure.
And then he later called me and said, "Hey man, I need a producer for my breakfast show." And Seko left. I can't remember what Seko went to, and I wrote.
Oh, Mateko.
Yeah, Mateko. Yeah. And then what I did was I gave him 3 proposals, which was unheard of. You know, a person would literally gave him like 1 proposal and hope for the best. I gave him 3 proposals, and I think they were really, really impressed by that, you know, as to where the direction of the show should go, what should we do with the show, and so on and so forth. Went for an interview at Y, and the rest is history.
Your work ethic is incredible. It's commendable. And your party ethic or your love for a good time is also commendable. It's quite impressive. How do you balance it out? Like, we can't use this guy's name now because vamos cancela, but I would use his name. It starts with the letter that comes after C. But
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Where does the work ethic come from, or should I say, where do you draw that from, and the ability for you to balance your crazy work ethic with your love for a good time with the people you love? And you don't party with people you don't vibe with.
Yeah.
That's generally your energy.
Yeah,
it's been your
that's-
energy since I've known you.
So, crazy story. I mean, I told you about the story with my grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, my grandmom was a hard worker. Like, she was a hustler. She put all my aunts, mother, brothers, and whoever through school. She had a feeding scheme, which turned into a daycare center, which is still running till today. You know, she passed away in 2001. It's still running till today. Like, you know, because of that. You know, because of taking care of the community and like her hard work. I don't know how she was able to run a daycare center and also sell alcohol by night, you know.
Polar opposite.
Yeah, you know, but that's a story for another day. I come from a family of like hard workers, you know.
Sure.
My uncles are hard workers and so on and so forth. But
Dreamstream, a place to create yourself. Record video, music, and podcasts in our full-service studio. Record video, music, and podcasts in our full-service studio. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
I also quickly realized that the best way to network, you know, is getting people out of their comfort zones. You know, getting people outside of the workspace and just like have like touch base with people. You know, like have one-on-ones with people. Have be real with people. You know, have a drink with people. Talk about family with people. Talk about your Joburg story. You know, and I think that's how we connected.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean. When Smash got to Y, I was like, dude, you really do not need to be loud. You just need to be my friend, you know. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad he listened. And yeah, man, we've had some crazy nights. I think my craziest night with you was when we partied. We went to Bahamas and Quatem, partied the whole night, and then we woke up the following day, went and bought a live sheep in the morning at like 6:30 in the morning.
And we didn't sleep.
We didn't sleep. Put it in the car, got to my house, slaughtered that thing, and invited people over, and like left just a carcass by the end of the day. And that's a true story.
Yeah, man. I think I'm revealing too much about like who I am with bringing my friends. Like, like my dad. I'm glad my dad does not watch this stuff. Bro. Now I want to talk to you about being a pioneer. To me, you'll always be a pioneer.
Yeah.
So let me give you like a quick story. The year is probably 2013, maybe 2013. There's a buzz about this music in the hood, and this music is cool, man. It's down tempo, but it's really, it has an essence of cool. And at the time, I guess I did not know it was called Amapiano, but Kutloano knew it. And not only that, but my brothers from Pretoria also knew about it and they'd put me on, right? But Kutloano had the audacity and at the time, because when you work for a commercial radio station and you are a producer who's now getting their own radio show, you are looked in a different light.
Yeah.
But you had the audacity to say, I want to create an entire hour dedicated to this music. And whether the music is mastered correctly or not, we're going to play this music on air. We're going to showcase the talent.
Yeah.
Right? And fast forward, we have seen the genre of Amapiano explode. From a commercial standpoint, I consider you as one of the dudes who elevated the music. In fact, I think sometimes even when they want to document the story behind Amapiano, those who know that they need to come to you in terms of who was some of the cats who came into the culture.
Yeah.
This was not about your music career. This was not about your radio career. This was not about you being the dude who's seen. It was about you showing the world this amazing sound and sharing it. What gives you that heart to share other people's talents before your talent? And looking back at what Amapiano has done,
Yeah.
what do you have to say to the game and to those who are not, aware?
I think it's such a dope compliment, man. Such a dope compliment because for somebody that's loved radio so much, I've got a love-hate relationship for radio. I think radio is, well, especially for me, has glamorized people that don't care about it, and has neglected people that actually care about it and really are able to use it to the betterment of society, to the betterment of culture, and to the betterment of life. A lot of people, and I don't care who sees this, a lot of people that are on radio today shouldn't be on radio, and a lot of people that aren't on radio should be on radio, and for me, before the dope voice, before being able to link, before the big English, radio is about taste making, dog. Radio is about
Preach.
being able to see something that is 4 years in the future, and you start documenting it and you literally pave a way for it, and I saw the summer piano thing back in 2012, 2013, when I joined Y, because every time when we went out, I loved getting to my gigs early, and that's why I've still got relationships with guys that used to book me and so on and so forth, Used to love getting to my gigs early, and I think that's why we partied a lot, because we'd get to my gig early and we'd chill the whole night. Like, I wasn't the guy that was going to take like 5 gigs a night, I'll take 2 and do 1 and then do another one, and just so that like I can immerse myself in the culture, in the spaces and so on and so forth. And there was this sound, man, that like was playing before we came in, because at the time, like, we were the so-called headliners, because we were at Y, we were the cool kids, we had the radio shows and so on and so forth. So So we chill out, and there was just the sound, it's very melodic. It's got like an underlying Kwaito bass line, it samples a lot of Kwaito songs, a lot of bubblegum songs, and the hood loved it, and then when we go on with like the commercial radio ready stuff, the party wasn't the same. Like it
Yep.
wasn't as organic as and and as authentic as it was when you were there just listening to these like guys in the hood just like playing this music, that's got no vocals and so on and so forth. And like I dug my head in the sand just to find out what the sound was. And before it was called Amapiano, it was called Inamba, Yeah, people would really just say Inamba,
Inamba, ne?
Inamba,
Yeah, and
Inamba.
it's a phrase
Yeah.
in the hood for a hit.
Yeah, hit, Aliza Shainamba.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and and fast forward, and then it started being called Amapiano. And with the Amapiano hour, funny enough, I almost got fired for pushing for that Amapiano hour.
Yeah, because also nobody knows who these kids are. The record labels are not behind these kids. We don't even know whether their music is registered, but we are playing this music.
Yeah. And it was during the height of Qom.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So it was during the height of Qom. So I fought a lot with my program manager at the time. He was saying, yeah, why don't you have a Qom hour?
And you were like, no.
I was like, no.
It's got enough attention.
It's got enough attention.
We are tastemakers.
And to an extent, I thought Qom was a bit regional. It spoke a lot to like KZN masses, Eastern Cape masses,
Western Cape.
Yeah, maybe a bit of Western Cape. You know what I mean? And Amapiano was more national because of like its underlying Kwaito influence. So and that's what I wanted to represent because I'm birthed by Kwaito. I love TKZ, I love Mdu, I love Trompis, I love Mashamplane, you know what I mean? Uskido, Maskumfete,
Yeah.
So I'm that guy. So it really just made sense to me, And we fought. He took away a couple of shows. He took me off producing, which was my biggest paycheck at the time.
And your love, bro.
And my love, And he said, okay, do the Amapiano, our thing, Players Club thing of yours, and let's see, And I kid you not, when the radio listenership rams came back that year, all the shows, including your guys' show, Smash, had gone down in terms of listenership, but my show was the only show that was gaining listenership. You know what I mean? And it was just based on the fact that I was taking local hood superstars and putting them on like radio.
Boom.
So your Angelics of this world, your them Tudors of this world,
Boom.
your Gabba Canals, who was the first on Amapiano Hour, and many other guys.
Mogul essay, remember that?
Yeah,
kid?
the Mogul essay. I mean, I can even tell you the first commercial Amapiano song to play on commercial radio. It was Chomi by Zing Master and Pencil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I made sure that song gets playlisted on Y. And after that we started playing We Batlakai.
Yeah.
And like the list is endless now. So that's basically what I did. And then in 2019,
you go international. This man says, you know what? You guys don't appreciate me. Someone from the British Broadcasting Corporation will see me.
Funny enough, before I leave Y, I'm like, the general trajectory for everyone that works on radio in South Africa is to go to 5FM, Metro, or 947, and so on and so forth. I'm like, nah, dog, like, I don't want that for myself, Well, at the time, I don't want that for myself at the time. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a dope thing to like grow out of like the youth space and like go broadcast to different markets and so on and so forth. But I really thought like I had something really, really, really important to say to the world, through the Amapiano thing. And the dope thing about it is that I never wanted to be an Amapiano artist, like I just wanted to be like an Amapiano storyteller,
Sure.
I wanted to be the Fat Five Freddy of Amapiano music,
Sure.
And what I did before I went to the UK was I trademarked the word Amapiano, which I still own till today, And then spoke to a couple of people in the UK, got a little segment where I used to do like South African dance music news, which was like a 2-minute segment,
Sure.
I'd record it while I was still at Y, send it to them. They'd put it on a guy's show out in the UK. His name is Mr. Silk. He's quite prominent in the dance music space, And one day they asked me to do a mix, but because Afro House was like the thing to do, I didn't do that. I did an piano mix, and I told them that like this is the next frontier. This is what we should do on drums radio. This is what is going to be like the next biggest thing in South Africa. And luckily they bought into me. And when I told them that I'm leaving, why they asked me where are you going? So I'm trying to crack the UK market. They said okay, and mind you, drums radio is an online radio station,
Sure.
so they're like, come to a 100% I'm a piano show. I'm like, cool, man.
Easy.
So I shot a little documentary for it, just to introduce myself to the market that side, because obviously nobody knows me in the
Sure.
UK. Do that little documentary, it gets a bit of traction, and then start doing things on drums radio. But the lady that gets me onto drums radio is consulting for another commercial radio station in London called the Beat London 103.6 FM. And she sends them my shows, they love them. And that's when like Amapiano was starting to like pick up.
Yeah.
That's when Kabza was like blowing up Apple Music charts and so on and so forth with King of Amapiano 1,
Sure.
and Shasha was also doing a thing, because obviously Shasha comes from Zimbabwe, and the diaspora
Yeah.
loved Shasha
Yeah.
at the time,
Yeah.
And yeah, man, they gave me an Amapiano show on the Beat London, and from there on, the BBC picked up on me, consulted for a few things that they were doing. Got a little write-ups on The Guardian, which is a big deal. The Guardian's like one of the biggest news publications in the world. And then the BBC said, we'd like to do a documentary on Amapiano, just to teach a kid somewhere in the corner of the UK, that has heard of the sound but does not know what it is, what the Amapiano is, and help produce and present it and voice the documentary. And long story short, 8 million people around the world watch that thing,
And you know what? We can't deny your greatness and your beautiful heart, your selflessness in terms of the growth of culture.
Yeah.
And we've gone global with this, And what I like about the story about Amapiano, for me, it says you can come from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
If you've got something special, and all we had was something special in the sound, and the audiences gravitated towards it. It was not something manufactured that, like, how you go on social media, we talk about algorithms.
Yeah.
And algorithms are literally prepared for you to consume certain things. So you are in the matrix. Amapiano is a big middle finger to the matrix.
Yeah. I mean,
And you played a pivotal part. So I appreciate you for that, man. Thank you so much.
I mean, like, just thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. But I always say that as much as I'd love to take all the credit, I think everyone's got a role to play in the birthing of like a cultural phenomenon, and I was at the right place at the right time. And also I respected guys that nobody else respected at the time. I respected guys that were overlooked. Guys that weren't put on certain lineups because of how they looked. Because of they come from the hood, and I respected their story. And I think the reward to that respect was them trusting me with their lives and their stories to be able to tell them on commercial radio, So if there was no music, there would be no Amapiano Hour. But if there was no Amapiano Hour, it would have probably taken a bit longer for Amapiano to reach the masses, So I think everyone's got a role to play, and I'm glad that I played that role. And from as early as when I started Amapiano Hour, I chose to basically be the voice and the storyteller of Amapiano.
That's it, man. We need more of that. Maji, do you make money out of the trademark? Or like, how does it work?
Not as yet,
Okay.
not as yet. But there are certain things that I am working on.
Because I know the reason
Yeah.
you don't have to tell us, but my lawyer, you like to know too much things too early. So please, The reason why I'm asking you whether you make money out of the trademark, the most successful radio show that I've ever done was a graveyard shift show,
Yeah.
and it's called Point of Order. And this man gave me that name for the show. And because at the time, you remember Parliament was hot,
Yeah.
I would take these clips from Parliament and play them in between
Your links.
my songs and my links. And he gave me the name. I came up with the creative of doing that, right? And that propelled me to go literally from midnight to 3 hosts, 3 to 6 hosts, 6 to 9 hosts.
You know, many.
Very few people who've been behind the microphone have, like, in terms of a space of 3 years, have done the slots like that.
It's so crazy.
So thank you for that, my G. I appreciate you, man.
So crazy that you say that. There was a point in time when we were at YFM, and I remember I had named at least 6 of those radio shows in that year's lineup.
Yeah.
Like 6.
So that's
I
so I'm giving you flowers right now.
I gave niggas show names.
Yeah.
You know, I gave niggas
And
show
all
names.
I'm saying, if this was a money chat, you niggas owe this man commission.
But
I know at why you're not getting, like, here's the truth. Yes,
Yeah.
you know, you're not getting a lot of money, but like, imagine you got like 10% or actually 5% of everyone's income for that year.
But I think
You know?
going back to you asking me if I'm making money from the trademark, I think it's really bigger than that, man. You know, I mean, you call this podcast "Leave It Better." You know what I mean? And I mean, my biggest thing about like African arts is that like it basically gets lost in the zeitgeist. You know, we'll start something, but it gets muted somewhere, and sning ding is UK, America, and you know, and I kept on laughing when this debate about where Mapiano comes from between South Africa and Nigerians and so on and so forth, and the biggest thing about Amapiano is that we have done so much as a culture, you know, to preserve it, you know, and I don't think you can go anywhere in the world, you know, where there is a living body, no, that you can say owns a trademark to a music genre. You know, I don't think any of the hip hop niggas own the word hip hop. I don't think any of the R&B niggas own the R&B trademark. I don't think any of the like jazz guys own the word jazz, you know. But it's also just going back against the grail, you know. Amapiano took the industries by storm. It changed a lot of musical policies in terms of how to sign these kids, how to distribute them, and so on and so forth, you know. And I think for me, by trademarking the word Amapiano was basically just still playing my part in that space to say that for anything to move in Amapiano, né, you need to talk to us, you know.
And that's how we leave it better. Shout out to my friends for always leaving it better. And you know the saying, man, show me your friends. I'll show you how far you go. You gotta rub shoulders with billionaires in the making. That's bonge. Oh, this broadcast was brought to you by Dreamstream. Shout out to the fam. Make sure you check out dreamstream.co.za because without them, we don't have microphones, we don't have couches, we don't have cameras, we don't have lights, we don't have Smash, and we don't have you subscribing. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. Thank you for subscribing. Till the next episode, Danko. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure, bro.
This was not even an interview. I didn't ask this man a single question that I prepared.
We gonna